All right, so I have him now coming close to the camera. I think I've moved the rain, so what do? I go up to the topmost layer. I hold down Option, say Layer, Merge Visible, then Command A, Command C, Command V, and let's see if that rain moves again. Yes, very good. All right, back to here. Deselect, delete that. Now he's up close and squinting. Very good. And this is where I'm going to start to let it get a lot darker. So I have all the rain splashes turned on. I'm going to up their opacity a little bit. And then I'm going to turn on Rain 2, duplicate that, Command J, so building more assets, but take that opacity down more. Okay, and now let's merge those together. Hold down Option, Layer, Merge Visible. Command A to select all, Command C to copy it, Command V to paste it in. And now you see how the sky is starting to get darker? And we're going to keep that going. Now I don't have any more movement assets for my creature, and I could build those in, but I want him basically to get back to this area. So I can instead just start moving him backwards. Right? So use the assets you have. But just because I'm moving him backwards doesn't mean it's the exact same frame we had before. I want to play with the rain. I want to play with the splashes. I want to make it look more dramatic. And getting darker and darker. Hold down Option, Layer, Merge Visible, Command A, Command C, paste it into my frames. Yeah, so now it's getting darker, he's moving back. And if I had a lot of time to do the demo, I'd run an animation test and kind of see how that was starting to work. But I'm just going to keep moving him back and keep doing those things. And I have confidence that it's going to work just fine. Even subtle changes you make will show up in animation. So now I'm going to layer these up on top of each other a little bit. Just up the opacity a tiny bit each time. But keep moving through my rain cycle. Command A, Command C, Command V. Now here he's basically standing in the exact same place, he's just pivoting. So I'm going to skip a frame. Not use that one, use this one instead. So he's going to be moving backwards a little bit faster than he moved forwards. And that's another way. And if I'm not worried about reusing that asset, I can just move his layer a little bit individually on its own. Because I already have that frame nice and safe. So there's lots of ways you can customize your frames. Now the weather's just getting worse and worse. The sky is getting darker and darker. And every once in a while I can have it flash with lightning, which could be cool. Maybe I'll have that happen right now, actually. Turn its opacity to 0. hold down Option, Layer, Merge Visible, Command A, Command C, Command V. So that's a pretty big change there, but it's gonna make sense in the timing. And you want to, if you're having fun with animation, you like animation, you take those kind of risks, and you have fun with them. But you also take the time to test them, to run little animation tests every once in a while. And I'm trying to speed through here. Remember, just playing with opacity is a really effective way, really subtle, but it shows up in animation very well. Now I go back to heavy rain. Not that heavy yet. Option, Layer, Merge Visible, Command A, Command C, Command V. Okay, so that little flash of lightning there should be fun. And now let's move them more slowly again. Just cycle through the rain. I'll darken it a little bit more each time. Vary my splashes each time, just a little bit. Merge them together, take my photo, Command A, Command C, Command V. Now I'm getting back to the position where I can start introducing a new group. So I'm going to put my dinosaur character here. And this is a new asset. I'll mark it green. Let's save both my stage and my assets before I bring it in. And I have 25 frames now, basically getting to this point, getting through the first 3. So let's test it really quick. Make frames from layers. Oh, I screwed something up at some point. Let me fix this. That layer got out of position, so I have to click on that layer. Yep, now let's save it again. Okay. So I want these all to be 0.3 seconds. Play it through forever, watching it here on my stage. Something went wrong there. But the moving back and forth works well, except for this, right? So why is it jumping to layer 14? Layer 14 should be up between layers 13 and 15, so let's fix that. Merge, bring my frames to the trash. So that's the problem. When you have frames outputted, if you do stuff to them, if you move things around, it will affect the layer. And that's why we have to put them in the trash each time. So now, because I don't have frames outputted, when I move it back into place where it should be, lock it into place there using the guides. There we go. Now it should stay put. And now if I save it, and I say make frames from layers, now it's all smooth. You can see it in the film strip. And I'm going to set the timing, 0.3, and I'm going to play it through. He gets up close, then he gets back. Good. Yep, so I'm ready. I'm ready to introduce Mr. Dino. But I have to move these to the trash from my stage first. Okay, shrink my stage down, move it down here, and go back to my assignment folder where I have my assets. And what dino am I going to use? It was between this one and this one. This one's got nice points of articulation, but I might start with this one coming in. So what do? Well, I can just drag and drop them in as smart layers into my assets folder, but I'm going to drag them into this dinosaur folder once I've placed them. Okay. Now there's a few things I can do to get rid of the white. I can select it all and delete it, right? But I can also change it to multiply mode, but the problem is he's going to be really dark that way, and he's going to look transparent with the background. So in order to get rid of the white, I have to rasterize him, set it on normal mode. These are all our compositing skills coming back. Select all the whites, hit delete. I can add in these little shadows. I have contiguous checked so I don't get the whites of his teeth or anything. I don't want to erase those. Now if I want to smooth this out a little bit, I can do refine edge. He's not a cloud. I have it taken off a little too much. So I need to back that off a bit. But I do want to feather it a tiny bit, like so. Then delete. And yeah, so now that looks pretty good. But this is all like assignment 3. How do I get him to match the setting? Well, I want to set him behind the textures a little bit more. And behind this driftwood. And I want this driftwood to maybe be a little bit more opaque, but a little bit darker for these coming frames. Like so. Okay, so there he is. Let me clean him up more before I make any final decisions. Get rid of this space between his arms. And now I can adjust him directly with image adjustment. Levels, I can darken him, right? I can limit his highlights so he looks like he's in the rain. And then saturation-wise, or color balance-wise, let's take out some of that yellow, some of that red. All right, now it looks like he's Jurassic Park style in the rain. If I was a hardcore animator special effects person, I would have him like breathing steam. You know, each breath in this environment would be very vapor-filled. I would show the rain textured off of his back. There's lots of cool other assets I can bring with his character, but I don't want to deal with it. And I don't even need to add his shadow because it's just a GIF animation, and who cares? But I could if I wanted to. In fact, his shadow is maybe something simple enough to do. I'm just going to paint it in the same layer. I'm just going to paint with black, but make it a really low opacity, only 8% opacity. And I'm just going to paint directly in front of him. Now you're not going to see it because the driftwood's there, but I painted that shadow. Okay, and that will affect at least the things around him. If I put the driftwood underneath him and over him, let's see, I can do that. I can make a duplicate of the driftwood, move one layer underneath him, and the layer on top of him I can set at a lower opacity. And then this part of the driftwood that overlaps his feet, so it's all about, how you work with your assets.